What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin, and today I'm going to show you how to set up Octoprint with a Raspberry Pi. What is a Raspberry Pi, you might wonder? A Raspberry Pi is basically just a credit card sized mini computer. Instead of having a regular hard drive in it, it uses an SD card as your hard drive. So you load your operating system and your applications on an SD card and put that in the Raspberry Pi, and that works as a little mini computer. It's got a gazillion different applications. You can set it up with a keyboard, mouse, and monitor if you want. We're going to be using Octopi or Octoprint with it, so that won't be necessary, but there's a gazillion different things you can do with it besides just using it on your 3D printer. So yeah, super cool tool. Octoprint is a program that allows you to, you can do a gazillion different things with it, but it allows you to basically print wirelessly. So you set up the Raspberry Pi with Octoprint and you connect it to your Wi-Fi network, and then you can, from your computer or from your smartphone over an application, you can start and stop your printer. You can monitor it. You can hook up a webcam to it and it'll monitor your printer live, so wherever you're at you can always look at your printer. You can change the settings, and you can do this from your computer. You know, you don't ever have to grab an SD card from your computer, run it over to your printer and plug it in. You can slice on your computer and send it directly over your network to the printer, which is really cool. There's a gazillion other really cool plugins to use. We'll get into a few of those. One of the cool ones that I saw was a spaghetti detector. It will detect if your print failed, basically, and there's spaghetti, print filament everywhere. It'll notify you or cancel the print, whatever you have it set up as. Another cool thing I saw was some kind of ad blocker. So you add it to your Raspberry Pi, and basically it blocks all the ads on like any streaming services like Netflix, YouTube, any other streaming services. It'll block the advertisements on that. So what you're going to need to do this, you don't have to use the exact same things I'm using. This is just what basically the kit I've put together to use. Octopi or Octoprint recommends that you get the Raspberry Pi 3B or newer. I bought the Raspberry Pi 4. And you're going to need an SD card. They recommend 16 gigs or higher. I've got a 32 gig one I got off Amazon. So the Raspberry Pi I got is the Raspberry Pi 4. It comes in this little starter kit, power supply, the heatsink, the Raspberry Pi, and a little instruction manual to start here. If you get the 4 too, they recommend, I guess it runs hot. You want to get a fan for it. These little fans, I bought the cool LED ones. You can get a 2-pack of these on Amazon for like $7 or $8. I bought the 2-pack of LED ones, and then for a case for it, this is really cool. I'll leave everything that I'm talking about too will be linked in the description. This is a case I got off Thingiverse for Raspberry Pis. I printed like 20 of these before I found one I liked quite a bit, but yeah, a little case for it. On Amazon, you can buy the Raspberry Pis. You can buy them completely individually, or you can buy them with a full kit. I opted to just get the Raspberry Pi itself. It was like $50. And then I bought the fan and the case I printed. Some of the other stuff you're going to want, you don't have to use this exact one, but this is from TH3D. It basically blocks power from... It blocks the Raspberry Pi from trying to power your 3D printer, or vice versa. So it keeps sometimes the Raspberry Pi will try to power your printer and it can cause issues. What else? You're going to need a mini HDMI, or yeah, USB to mini USB. Yeah, the old school mini USB. Everybody's got a gazillion of these cords. I bought a 3-pack on Amazon for longer ones. And then you can also get a webcam. They have specific Raspberry Pi webcams, or if you just have any, I just had a regular USB webcam laying around that I'm going to use that. And yeah, that's basically all you need. SD card, the Raspberry Pi, a fan if you're using the 4. I guess you don't need it. And these are just nice things to have, a webcam and a case. And that should definitely get you started. We will hop over to the computer now, and we'll start getting Octoprint set up. We're going to download Octopi first, which is basically the operating system that Octoprint runs on, and we'll get everything set up, and I'll show you all the downloads and go step by step so everybody else can follow along. Yeah, see you over at the computer. All right, now that we're over the computer, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your Raspberry Pi out of the box and put it into its case, or the bottom part of its case here. You can fully enclose it in the case if you want, and then you're also going to put your heat sinks on. I'll overlay a picture of where to properly put them, and you're going to want to have your power cord handy, and you're going to want to put your SD card into your computer, and you're going to format it. I've already done this, but I'll do it along with you. So we'll open up our File Explorer. We'll go to this PC. I have my SD card in there. We're going to right click it, click Format. and start the format. Make sure it's empty. After this initial format, do not format your card anymore. I guess Windows has some kind of issue with the files that we're going to be putting on the SD card. So it's going to ask you, it's going to say, oh, we can't use this SD card with the files on it. Excuse me. Do not format your SD card again after the initial one. So do this, the first one to start, just to make sure it's empty. And then do not format your card again. Now that we have a Raspberry Pi ready here, we've got our power cord ready, and we have our USB, or excuse me, our SD card plugged in the computer. We're going to go to the Octoprint website. I'll have this linked in the description as well too. And this is basically, again, I'm following their exact written guide, so I'm just doing it step by step with you. This is just a walkthrough for it. So this will be linked in the video description, and we're just going to follow this guide step by step. So the first thing, I guess another thing too that you're going to want to know, your Wi-Fi network password, the name of the network, and your password. So what I did is I just went on my phone and looked at the network and made sure I knew the password. Another thing you can do too on your desktop, if you have Wi-Fi available on your desktop, is click on your internet connection down here, and you can see your available Wi-Fi networks. This is what I'm going to be using. So my name or my network is going to be DEA space undercover -5. Secret DEA undercover officer here. Anyways, you're going to want to know the network name and the password for that. And again, don't format your SD card at all after this point since we've done this. So we're going to go to the Octoprint website. We're going to download the image. They call their programs or their applications or operating systems images. I don't know why they call it an image. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to download the Octopi, which is the operating system for Octoprint. So we'll start this download. We'll get this going. Again, here they talk about the requirements, what you should be using. Everything I talk about will be linked in the video description as well too. So now we're setting up the Octopi. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to download this image, and we're going to extract the files once it's done downloading here. And we're going to use a program. You can't just paste it in there. We need to use this program called Etcher right here. So it says unzip the image, install the contained .image file on an SD card using Etcher. So we're going to, it says don't at any point format the SD card if you're prompted to. So we're going to let this finish down. I guess I can start both of them at the same time. So I'm going to download Etcher as well too. Download for Windows. And we have the Octopi download going on. And we have the Etcher download going on. So I will fast forward through this part and come back once it's done downloading. All right, so now Etcher and Octopi are both fully downloaded. So we're going to start with Etcher. We're going to right click or left click down here, click show in folder, bring us to our downloads. We're going to run Etcher for the first time. I agree, installing Etcher. And Etcher is just a program, you can uninstall this after we're done. Etcher is just a program we're using to flash the files to the SD card. I guess it has to be done a specific way, and this program Etcher is what does that. So now that we have Etcher opened or installed and open here, we're going to minimize it. We're going to go back to the other download, Octopi right here. We're going to right click on it. We're going to click extract all, and I'm going to leave it here in my downloads. You can move it to your desktop if you want, but I'm going to extract all. Now that that's done extracting, this is what we have here, is we have this one file in here. I thought it was going to be more files. Anyways, we're going to use this file through Etcher and put it onto the SD card. So we'll open back up Etcher, and we'll go flash from file, click on this, and we're going to navigate to the file we just extracted. So we're going to open up our downloads right there. We're going to go to the Octopi, not the extracted one with the zipper. We want the one with no zipper, the one we just extracted. Open that and click on this file and click open. And it's asking us where we want to flash it to. Make sure you flash it to the correct drive. I only have one card available in there, and it's a 32 gig card. So if you accidentally flash it to something else, I believe this erases it and it'll mess it up. So make sure you're selecting the correct drive. You can click on this and make sure the size looks correct is a good way to check it. But if you have an external hard drive or something, make sure you're not Make sure you're not flashing it to that. See, that's my SD card where it's hidden though. So anyways, we're flashing it to the SD card. Click flash. It's going to ask you for command prompt. Click yes. I don't know if that showed up on my screen, but you want to click the whatever the Windows program thing is that blocks it or asks for permission, excuse me. All right, now that our flash is complete, we're going to go ahead and close this. We don't need this anymore. And we're going to close the URL or the web page, close all these, close that. Open back our File Explorer, go to this PC. We might have to remount it, I guess. Excuse me. So now we need to unplug. That's right, I forgot about that. Etcher automatically unmounts the SD card. So now take your SD card out and put it back in your computer. So it automatically popped up for me. If it didn't pop up for you, just double click on this. Again, if you get prompted to format anything, don't format anything. And we're looking for a specific file. Open it back up. Where did it go? Oh, I lost the Octoprint website. Octoprint. We're looking for a specific file to set up our Wi-Fi. Right here, configure your Octopi WA supplement.txt file. So we're looking for that file. Let's see, where is it? Where is it? Right here. So don't just double click on it. You don't want to use the Windows text editor or any kind of, you need to use either VS Code or Notepad++. I have VS Code on here or on my computer already. Some of you will too if you followed along with the TH3 firmware. We used it for that. But the other thing they recommend using is Notepad++. Where the heck was it? I saw it listed right here. I thought I did at least. I'm blind. Yep, there it is right here. So it says, important, do not use WordPad or text editor to edit the program files. It'll cause it to fail. Something like Notepad++, AROM, or VS Code instead. At the very least, heed the warnings. So we are going to use VS Code. If you want to use, if you don't have VS Code, you can just download Notepad++ right here. I'll link that in the description as well too. But we're going to do whichever program you're using. We're going to right click on this. We're going to click Open With, and then it's going to force us to choose another app. More apps. Can we not just go right there? Visual Code Studio. We don't want to open that again with Windows Editor. So now we're looking for this section right here, line 26 through 29. So we're going to change, we're going to take out these comments, delete those two, and we're going to put network, or put our SSID here. All right, Kevin from the future here again. I missed a line in my code here, or I missed an uncomment. You're supposed to uncomment the network line as well. So 27, 28, 29, and I believe there was one on 32. Maybe there wasn't, but it needs to look identical to that, to these lines right here. And then on your country for the United States down here, you need to put a comment back in. By default, it's set for the UK. Is my, let's see here. I'll move that 1 second. My webcam is blocking it. There we go. So down here, the default country was set to UK. So you got to put a number symbol back in front of the UK and remove the one on the United States. So now we will file save this with the proper Wi-Fi network saved and the proper password. Thank you, Anthony, in Discord. He's the one that caught that. I couldn't figure out what was going on, and he spotted that. Appreciate that. Now we have this file saved. We will close this and right-click on this. Click Eject. You don't want to just rip it out. Click Eject. It'll say it's safe to remove. Close that. Grab our SD card. Put it into the Raspberry Pi. Again, I have my webcam connected to the... Oh, whoops, put it in the wrong spot. I have my webcam connected to the Pi, and I have it plugged in. See if we can show it there. It's just sitting on my desk. Now we are going to turn this on, and hopefully we can go back to the internet now, and it will connect. So we're going to give it a minute here. I don't know how long it takes. octopi.local/. Hopefully it comes right up. No, give it a minute to load. Boom, there we go. So now we're in. That took, I don't know, probably 2 minutes maybe, so be patient with it. So now we're going to start this whole process. It's basically a setup wizard, as you can see here. We're going to go through it step by step. I'm going to read through it. Thank you for installing Octoprint. This wizard will guide you through the final steps of your Octoprint install. Once you're ready to go, we'll get you printing in no time. All right, so click next. And this is restore from backup. If you would like to restore Octoprint configuration from a backup, now is the time. We do not want to do that. Click next, unless otherwise noted. You may skip the wizard. Okay. So now we want to set up a mandatory step. All right, it looks like you will you haven't configured access control yet, which is not mandatory. Please set up a username and password for the initial administrator account. All right, so we will pick a username. Let's see here. We're gonna go there. 20. Whoops. I will blur this out. I'm about to knock over my Raspberry Pi. I'm gonna move that over for a second. All right, create account. Save that. Not now. Gonna be a lot of blacking out. All right, so now we click next, and then enable anonymous users track or usage tracking. This is to help them gather information. Sure, why not? And we click next. Online connectivity check. So we should be good to go. We're gonna go enable connectivity check. Is it going to do anything? Oh, connectivity check is enabled. All right. So plugin blacklist. So this is for, from my understanding, if there is, there's lots of plugins to use for Octoprint out there and your Raspberry Pi, and this creates a list of bad plugins, plugins that are known to cause problems with Octoprint. So we're going to enable that. I believe you can turn this off later too if you want. And then default printer profile. So this is whatever you want to call it. So this is going to be Ender 3 V2. We'll just call it Ender 3, and then we'll call this Ender 3 V2. Identifier. Okay. So we got our bed plate or build plate is rectangular. If you're using a BL Touch, you would change this to the center, but I don't have one on there right now, so lower left. It is a heated bed. Our size is 235 by 235 by 250. I'm pretty sure on that. Let's double check that. Ender 3v2 build size. 220 by 220. Okay, 220 by 220 by 250. Good thing I checked. So we'll go 220 by 220 by 250. I believe you can change any of this stuff too. Later on, we're going to leave the axes or the axes default. Nozzle size, number of extruders, good. Okay, so next, and then your Octoprint installation is now set up and ready to go. For your printer safety, even with Octoprint attached, you should never leave your printer running complete. Of course, we can never walk away. Got it. Thank you. Finish. So now this is the Octoprint interface. From here, we can do a bunch of different stuff. I don't have mine connected to the printer yet, so I'm going to pause the video. I'll move the Octopi now that it's connected to the internet. Yours, if you could reach it with your cord, is already connected right now, and if not, now is the time to power it down and then go over to move it over to your printer and set it by your printer. Mine's across the room, so I'm going to do that now. So I'll be back in 1 second after I move the Raspberry Pi over to connect it to my printer. All right, now that I've plugged in my printer, I came back over here and it made me reload the web page. or it said reconnect. I reconnected, and an update popped up that was available. I'm sure you want to stay updated on updates, so we're going to click update now. Are you sure you want to update now? Restart components and restart the server? Sure. So we're going to proceed to that. So it's going to do an update now, and we'll let this run for a second. Once it's done, I'll come back on the screen. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. All right, so the update is taken now. We are in Octoprint. We can tell we're connected up here because it says connection, but we're not connected to the printer. So if you had multiple printers, this is where you would select them right here, your printer profile. This is the one we set up, though, as the Ender V3 or the Ender 3. So we're going to click Save Connection Settings and Auto Connect to the server on startup, or Auto Connect on server startup. And we're going to click Connect. Boom. Now this just switched to our printer. We have our actual printer. You can see here that our temperature graph or whatever is moving. This is a horrible way to display this. I don't know why they have it like that, but there's plugins for that to give you a better look at this on the screen. But anyways, this is our temperature, the actual temperature and the bed temperature of the hot end and the bed. On the left hand side here we can see print information. If we had a print going, it would say you know, what file we had, the time lapse, the print time, how much left and how much is printed. Down here is where we would put print files. You can put them, I believe you can drag them right into here, or we can just click on upload. We're going to do that too. I'll show you. And we have a pause, print, and cancel button. These are our temperatures right here. So the bed and the tool. So if we change this to, let's see, I believe there's presets as well too. So yeah, you click on these drop downs, and then we got set PLA preset, and that's going to set the bed temperature. You can manually type it in here if you want, but you can see it's going to manually set the bed temperature. And this line is the desired, this dark blue is the desired, and then the light blue is the target. You can't see that yet. And then we'll heat up the hot end as well too. So 210 ABS. I got PLA loaded, or excuse me, TPU loaded right now. We'll set those and get those going, and we'll start a test print from here. So I believe that's everything on this page. I guess we'll upload since we're on this page now. So I've already sliced, or I haven't sliced yet, excuse me. In Cura here, we have a file. This is a GoPro mount I was doing for a buddy. So we'll slice this. Actually, we're going to rename it something else. We're going to rename it EJ because that's who it was for. And we'll click Save File, and we'll just save this somewhere on, we'll just go to Downloads. We'll save it in there, Save and Downloads. All right, so now that that's saved, we'll close this. We can go back over to the Octoprint interface. We'll click on Upload right here, and then we're going to navigate to right there, the G-code file. Click Open. Give it a second, and it uploads it there. So this is our G-code file here. We can trash it, do a couple other things with it, load it. What else can we do with it? Load and print. Download it, I guess, if we want to get it off of here. The next page over here is the control page. This is my webcam. It's just sitting on the keyboard right now. This also moves your bed. So I believe too, if you click on the screen with your mouse, you can use, yeah, look at that. So I'm using the up and down arrows to slide the bed. That's pretty cool. And then this homes your printer. You can extrude filament, retract it. You can move it however you want. Again, this button auto homes it. Once it's hot, if you have a BL Touch, you could, or any kind of ABL, you could automatically do the bed level, but I already know it's leveled. But we're almost to temperature. The G-code viewer in the terminal, this is some pretty complicated stuff, I believe. We're not going to go into that today. The time lapse, if you wanted to set up a time lapse video, you can make a cool time lapse of your print. But I believe that is it. So, yeah, once this hits target, we're about there, 202. We can go back to control and click auto home. And this is going to auto home the printer. That is so cool, man. I need to adjust the camera view a little bit. And we will start this print. So it's almost a target, close enough, I guess. So I believe we can just click on this. Oh, we need to click load and print. Load and print. Okay, so you click on that little load and print right there. It puts it up in here into our menu, or whatever you want to call this. This is status printing or state it's printing. And let's see what it's doing. So it's homing it now. Oh, it took a second to home it, I guess. That is too cool. I'm not going to let this print run. I just wanted to show you guys how to get it set up and how to print it. You could pause the print here. You can stop it. Yeah, and next we'll dive into plugins for Octoprint. There's a bunch of really cool ones that are super useful. This video was mainly just showing you how to get the Raspberry Pi set up and Octoprint. Hopefully my camera wasn't. I just noticed my webcam was over on that side of the screen. Hopefully that wasn't in view or blocking anything I was explaining. But anyways, actually I'm going to stop this print real quick because we don't need that to go. Are you sure? Cancel the print. Yes, I'm sure. This is really cool, man. I'm excited to get to use this. Anyways, hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comment below. If you could subscribe to the channel, like the video, that'd be much appreciated. Let me know what videos you guys would like to see next or other topics you'd like me to cover. Big thanks to Anthony too for catching my mistake with the Wi-Fi. I couldn't get the Wi-Fi connect. If you're having other Wi-Fi issues, read through that. They got a FAQ for the Wi-Fi setup on the Octoprint page. This troubleshooting guide right here, it's got a bunch of different options to try or things to do, things to check to make sure you did. But anyways, yeah, that's the basics of Octoprint with your Raspberry Pi. The next video, or not the next video, but a video I'll do shortly is some of the most useful plugins for Octoprint. If you are already ready to dive into those, I'll leave I asked some of the guys in the community, in our Discord community, what some of the best plugins for Octoprint are, and I've got a pretty good list. So I will leave a list of the best plugins, or not best, some good plugins in the description, and you can check those out. And yeah, try them out yourself, or wait till the video next time I do another video on plugins. We'll dive into the Octoprint plugins. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. I appreciate your time. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more content. Have a good day. Peace.